Friends, good afternoon, and I really consider myself very fortunate to enter the portals of this great place. You are really fortunate, we are all fortunate, very fortunate. You particularly are very fortunate to enter this campus, because this place has been blessed by some great people walking here, starting from Mahatma Gandhi and all the great freedom fighters. Many of the ideas, aspirations of India's freedom were really born here under the mentorship of Gopal Krishna Gokhale, the Gokhale Institute. So you are carrying such a great heritage in that campus, and though we may not appreciate, because in the whole cacophony of so many things and great city, crowded cities and so many things, we may not really learn what price and what efforts and what dedication the freedom was earned by this nation. Rightly so, this institute or this society here is called Servant of India Society. Deshmukh sir is here. People at that time, Gopal Krishna Gokhale and great freedom fighters, they thought we should form a Servants of India Society. Servants of our motherland, not something like that. We are the servants. And this is, our life is dedicated to service, our motherland. That's why they call themselves very humble. And this is what I think one factor we must learn, that we are here. We are the children of Mother India. We are here to serve our motherland, first thing. And there is a dream about it. Friends, the next 25 years, when I'm talking about 25 years, are going to be extremely crucial and most critical time for our country. Because these 25 years will decide. We know I think somehow we are not taught the glorious past of this land. Starting from the Vedic times, what were the aspirations of the Vedic rishis, and when this land, the philosophy and everything was created. And why I'm saying to the next 25 years is because India remained for centuries, for millennia, one of the greatest nations of the world. And then, of course, the invasion started from the 11th century. Series of invasions started from Mughals, and then you saw the whole, we have studied history, and then the Britishers came, and we were left in tatters. We became one of the richest nations of the world, richest land of the world, became the poorest nation when I was born. When India got independence, we became so poor that we didn't have anything to eat. We used to import food, and whole history, I think, has to be studied. And then India began its, what you call this new destiny by opening up, I think, the new schools. You know, those were the days in which we had to walk across rivers. Girls had to, so many girls are here now studying IT, but at that time the girls had to swim across rivers to attend a school. I think you must remember, we started our journey after independence like this. There were no universities, there were very few universities. First modern universities were formed in 1857, modern kind of thing. Of course, we are the world's first universities were built in this country. World's first universities, you must be very proud of that, that when we thought of, Dr. Sinha talked about, Aditya Sinha talked about the Gurukul system, education 1.0, 2, 3, like that kind of things. But first, Gurukul system, the education system was built here. We are carrying that heritage. But also we must remember, the world's first universities, no one ever thought that the universities could be, I think, could be built for the education of the future. Takshashila, which is now in Pakistan, the Rawalpindi, that was the first university which we built. Some of the greatest new knowledge was created by the teachers, by the great gurus, by the great rishis in those universities. This one. Then came Nalanda, then came Vikramshila, then came many, many universities of the world. The world learned what is university education, the kind of things. And I talked about the modern education system. Then, of course, our system was destroyed, when the invasion started, the first thing they burned the libraries. Like Nalanda library was burnt. The first thing they thought, knowledge must be burnt. For the society will not advance. Kind of thing, if the previous knowledge is burned down. Of course, they did not know what they were doing, but this is what happened. So you are really lucky. We are all lucky. I was born on the eve of India's freedom. I'm really fortunate that I could see from 1946, when I was born, 11th October, to till today. I've seen the whole journey now, how it again began, kind of thing. We are on that curve, and you are coming in the 21st century, and in how IT happened, and I will just tell something about this thing. But it is going to be very, very historical time. I'm telling you with great intensity on this issue that next 25 years will decide. India will again reclaim her ancient glory. India means, whole Southeast Asia, Asia, that part of it. We never thought of a nation like that. We always thought of the whole world. Whole world is our nation. When I was in Nalandi, we say that Saint Naneshwar, they declared, whole world is my family. Hey, Vishwachi Maje Garai, whole world is my family. It's not India, not my home, not Pune. He went on that further. Not only India is my family, that entire world, everyone, living and non-living, I have become myself. And this is the essential philosophy. This is the essential philosophy. That's why I was insisting that we should be in Nalandi, feel that place, get inspired there. Why did he say that? Why did Saint Naneshwara say that whole world is my family? Now we are discovering, we are communicating, there is internet, we are these kind of things, and we know that now we are studying here, we will be studying in Stanford, teacher can be anywhere, this kind of thing. He talked about that concept, this one. But it was much beyond that. I will not give you the philosophical connotations of this some other day. Information technology and the great philosophy of India. Why I am saying this is that the concept of computing, if you study the history of computers, you must study. There has to be essential subject in any kind of university education that you study the history. We must study the history of India, must study history of Asia, history of the world. We must be aware of that. But history of computing, if you look at the history of computing, where was first computing idea came? This is the most important issue. I don't know whether you have studied Turing machine. The first computing, Alan Turing. But have you studied the architecture? We don't teach Alan Turing architecture. How did he arrive at that architecture to break the codes in the World War II? How did he arrive at that architecture? How did he arrive at that philosophy of this kind of? Similarly, we studied and then we asked, okay, the Boolean logic, the whole logic, how system got involved. Logic got evolved first in India. The great Nyaya Shastra, advanced logic which will not teach even today. Different types of logic, 108 types of logics. First order logic, second order logic, differential logic, all kind of things we were taught there. And it goes beyond that kind of thing. The concept of digital, which is the main thing of I think we are studying, the whole digital thinking. Digital logic idea is not by Bull. Bull, of course, has a great contribution to some mathematics, what he did for the whole thing. But beyond that, first logic came by Pingal Rishi. Pingal Rishi around Takshashila University. His brother, Panini, we say, perhaps, who brought out the grammar system, grammar of Sanskrit, actually the original grammar of Sanskrit. Panini, during the same time, his brother, people say, that brought out called Chanda Shastra, which is the part of the Upavedas of the one of the Vedas, this one, and he came out with this digital logic. And we should study that kind of thing. What did he do? And how did he evolve the Chandas? He related language to the logic. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that we must study also the history of this whole thing and be proud. How did at that time, thousands of years back, he thought of the digital logic. That is the beginning of computing, really. That is later, of course, Europeans, Bulls, Alan Turing, von Neumann, all these people advanced this technology. Computing is a wonder. For me, computer remains still a wonder. I might have developed supercomputers, and I'm developing new architecture, I'm thinking, it remains to be a great mystery. The transistor, which was discovered, or invented it in the Bell Labs, for which they received the Nobel Prize, that itself is a wonder. A transistor device, which is nothing but a switch, it's a semiconductor switch, just on-off switch. And one of the challenges I will remain, that I will come back to you. I think Srinivas will come back to you, that kind of thing. Often the question remains, why is it possible that computers can simulate everything in the reality? Not only the numbers, all kind of numbers. So you say the data structures you will study. Any kind of numbers, any kind of letters, any kind of sounds, all kind of colors. You imagine. And now we are coming to emotions. We are also coming to that my emotions. If I am crying, I can simulate with a switch. Can you believe that? And this remains a great, I think, the philosophical questions. That can you, or some time back, that if I feel sad, can it be simulated on computers? Or can you design computers which can cry, which will laugh, which will... These are the questions, research currently going on in the MIT's affective laboratory. Affective computing, affection, affective, can it have emotions? So you are living in the world with challenges like in artificial intelligence. Now we are going to teach you, by introduce you, that what artificial intelligence really mean, and how it's going to transform. How people will write, how the computers can write their own programs. It is not necessary that you are required. As I gather data, I understand that, I do the data analytics, or data understanding deeply, and write my own programs as we go on. So that's why data analytics course is now coming. That as you are programming the machine, it will start programming you. You are thinking. No, I'm seeing this is what happened. And that's why people are wondering whether software people will be in job at all. But the challenge will remain, as Aditya said, we will have to further advance beyond that. We'll have to create courses, introduce intelligence which is the machine has not yet learned. And you have to teach the machine, and the machine will program you also, and you will also, it will start teaching you data analytics courses, or data structure, no, data beyond artificial intelligence, we'll have to go. Means continuously we'll have to learn. Now, I will only say that there are so many things to be said. How did this course start? This institute started 110 years back. Suppose kind of thing, the great people wandered. Nobody would have imagined this kind of thing. First transistor I saw was 1964. I was in the second year of my engineering. And then the teacher brought few transistors in a beaker, so that we should not touch them, so it gets spoiled. No, never did I think that one day I will be designing chips right in this country, where the teacher did not allow me to touch. A transistor will be designing chips. Today, CDAC, VLSI design centers and CDAC centers in Hyderabad and in Bangalore and many other places. We are designing, not in Japan, not in California, not in Intel. We are designing chips right here. You must have seen the news that first microprocessor, Indian design microprocessor, came from IIT Chennai, and they are the partners with CDAC. CDAC is going to use in their supercomputer those chips now, but more importantly, CDAC is now on the design of a chip, one of the world's most advanced chip design. I'm not saying manufacturing. World's chip design, which will have 64 processors on a chip, on a thumbnail. 64 processors of what you are using, the Intel chips, this one, on single chip. ARM-based core we are trying to use, this one, which will be used in the next generation supercomputers, which CDAC is trying to bring in the exascale or the terascale or petascale supercomputers, which we are bringing out. So imagine the transformation. I was not allowed to touch a chip, a transistor, and I got an opportunity to design world's most advanced chip. Not I miss, all of you. I miss, when I'm using the word I miss, I'm working with Aditya. He is designing. I may be just giving the architecture kind of things. So people here, so that we are not designing chips. Some people talk, we are not doing anything hardware. They are mistaken. we are designing the most advanced chip. We don't manufacture. We don't have foundries because to create a foundry today, the chip foundries, we require $5 billion. Means 35,000 crores to design one foundry. And that's what, whether we should do that investment. I personally feel we should have fabulous design factory. So we don't take our we just design correctly and then give it to manufacturing, particularly the friendly country like Taiwan. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturer, TSMC, and which can take up the 7 nanometer chips, and we can design any kind of chips like this kind of thing. So you will have opportunity. Suppose you do a VLSI design center course here. I know many people who did the VLSI design course here, who of course designed chips for Intel, for most of the things like that, for ARM, for television, like in all the Apple chips, the iPhone chips, all kind of things which people have designed here, and many of them went out and designed very advanced chip outside. Yeah, I've seen people coming from villages, including my own village, coming from village, could not speak English, but in the Silicon Valley, they were designing, studied in CDAC, went to this kind of thing, designing most advanced chips there. And the NVIDIA CEO was here, and he told me that you guys are really tremendous there. How are they designing our most advanced chips? Trained in CDAC. So what I think, you have to imagine yourself, as Dr. Sinha said, this kind of thing, that you are to compete with the world. Some of the most intelligent people. But you can, most importantly, you can compete. Not only compete, but cooperate. Kind of thing, and create that kind of wonders. And I'm very proud of particularly the DAC course, the course which was designed here. This idea I got when I was walking on the hills around my house there. I think where CDAC is located. That then at that time it was believed that you can go into software development only if you are from electronics, not if you are from computers. And at that time, imagine 25, 27 years back, computer course was taught in only few institutions, like IITs, some institutes, advanced institutes, and so they could produce hardly few software engineers. And then came the opportunity for Y2K. Mr. Sam Pitoda came here. He told me that, can we now teach in this decade of 90s, but particularly, I want not lakhs, I want million engineers. Or rather, India wants million software engineers, which IITs cannot do because they are hardly taking 20, 25 students like that. We want million in this decade because whole software has to be rewritten. Whole software has to be rewritten. What has been and written in the entire century has to be written now, rewritten. And that's how the challenge was taken. So this DAC course has that heritage. And they said, we will take that challenge. One was writing parallel programs, and that some people were doing. We had taught a lot of people because supercomputers were being developed, and how to use them. It's not just the same serial computers, sequential computers, how to use them. For that way, to teach the parallel processing, which you learn in the HPC course. You know because you also know you study in BE, what is parallel computing and all those kind of things. And that we started, but we had to do something more. How to create million software engineers. So then we came out with the concept of software factory. Software factories. That was a software factory, which Japanese had imagined, that you bring any engineer, put on the DAC course, and out comes a software engineer. And this is what you are going to experience here. You don't know anything because Rose studied engineering, because our teachers themselves don't know. Because no, there's nothing wrong. Because when we studied, there were no computers. We had not even touched computers. So I told you that kind of thing. So now we have to learn in a different environment. And that's why that course is important. In our engineering colleges, we didn't have teachers who can write a software program, who are not programmed computer at all in their life. And that's how you come out. You teach, of course, the course is there, you pass the exams, and we are very good in passing the exams, because Indians are given any course, they will pass any exams of any world, but will not know anything. So So that is the kind of environment was given. So challenge was to him that how do we create software engineers who can actually program for IBM, who can program for the world, for NVIDIA, for many things, HP, for anybody, this one. And you have to produce results. We had actually that program must work on the new computer architectures. So this is the what wonder is. DAC is that wonder. I feel that. Then of course we have many flavors of this. Now you're talking about big data also. This is a new thing which is happening. What is the data? The data-driven computer, data-driven discoveries. Data itself will discover things like that kind of thing. So data analytics, which has become a main, which are not there. In our time, when CDAC was there was no word like data analytics at all in CDAC itself. But then course has to be learned, it has to be introduced, people have to be taught, and that is the that is the challenge which we are going to do that kind of thing. This is a unique opportunity. Now, we never say that if, so in colleges there are a lot of benches and a lot of things are there. But here there is no place to sit. You will find that they are all come because there are few teachers who can teach you the most advanced technologies. And you have to get many, many students, 120, 200 kind of thing, and they must be created in 6 months' time. This is the challenge which we are going to face. And when we designed the course, I had in view that because there is no time, Y2K was only a limited year opportunity. There was limited year opportunity. Then in 6 months' time, I must create thousands and thousands of engineers. How do I create 6 months' time? And who did their engineering, and the teachers did not know what software is. So how do you do that? So that was done. He said 14 hours a day. We'll design a course, and I really, unless you study 14 hours a day intensely, you will not master that course. And I thought that if they given a challenge, whenever a challenge was given to India, we lived up to that challenge. That's why supercomputer was developed. Here, while the supercomputer project started, when we used to take the engineers, they did not know kind of thing. They did not know what is computer. Wow. So, kind of things. So when Rajiv Gandhi asked me the question, can we do it? I said, I have not seen a supercomputer. But I can tell you. He asked me the question that I said, honestly, because I knew him earlier also. Honestly, I have seen a picture of supercomputer. That's what I can tell. But I can tell intuitively. But that's what we did. Dr. Bhabha did for atomic energy. And then Dr. Sarabhai did for the space program. Kind of thing. They did it. So taking inspiration from that, I can say that we can develop supercomputer. And how many years? I said 3 years we have wasted requesting United States, and they are still not giving us, neither saying yes or no. So within the 3 years we'll develop not only supercomputer, entire technology for supercomputers, which are the new technology for this one. What is the cost? What would be the cost? And we did a calculation of the parallel computing architecture. It was the cost of one supercomputer. The entire lab, CDAC lab, about at that time 150 engineers or 200 engineers, plus the supercomputer, and including design of the chips, design of the PCBs, design of everything, writing the operating system, the compilers, everything was done, and that's why they have that experience, which we have to transmit and share with you. And you will learn yourself all that kind of thing, and you will go and write operating systems like Android operating system. Many people are working from CDAC. When the original codes were written. So this is the challenge. I just want to say, this is the challenge we are addressing. And as we say that, in the meantime, software itself has changed. The kind of, the way you write software has changed. This one, so this challenge you please address. And this is a great opportunity for us now to migrate to this one. Today, starting from zero, we did not know the spelling of information technology. 1991, the word itself had not come. The word information technology did not exist. The word informatics came from the French when they started in informatics technologies, in the word informatics, from which the word came information technology. From the spelling of information technology to the world's largest number of people who write, become the software programs and advanced software technology. We are considered as the leaders in the information technology. Go anywhere in the world, you will see CDAC engineers. CDAC engineers are, of course, coming from India as well as something. This is the magic that has been done. This is the capability that you carry with you. And that's how we have to learn now new technologies like artificial intelligence. what does it mean, what does it think, how do you program, how the machines will work, all those kind of things. This provides you that opportunity. And I'm very proud that you have come from many villages, many parts of India. I know that many parts of India, they stay around in my house there. So many people, and they said, we're not taught anything in our colleges like so much about this one, but now we can write programs. So I feel very proud, and suddenly I found someday when I go to San Francisco, the same guys are really programming there also. This is a thing which but most of the software is software IT has to now create it here. I was very proud the other day that because we used to challenge that no, everything software you can do, but where is hardware? Everything is coming from this one. It comes from China. Everything comes from this one, Korea, and many other things comes from this one. What is India doing? I was very sure that we cannot fabricate. Fabrication is also important. Fabrication, you can do that. Now PCBs are manufactured in India. All kind of thing, what you say, everything is manufactured in India. I think all the contracted fabrications which come to Dell or IBM, they come to India. Even Intel, they come to from our factories in the electronic, which is subcontracted to us. But more importantly, they are designed here. And that is the VLSI design course. Allows you to use the most modern tools of CAD and all those kind of things, and you can design the most advanced chip for supercomputers as well. So these are the possible opportunities. I am very pleased that I am here, and we are going to write. Today the software industry has become close to 150,000 crore industry of our country. One of them. Contributing, if you see IT, 10% of our national economy. If you add IT and telecom put together, we contribute 10% of India's national income. Very soon, it is going to be 20% of the income, national income, starting from zero, starting from this kind of thing. It's a great thing. Agriculture only 14%, and IT is only 20% of the economy. So that's a lot of jobs, but a lot of challenges. Finally, there is going to be a lot of challenges. There's going to be a lot of competition. You just can't do that kind of thing. I know I have done this one, and what I have done today, what I have learned today, that is important. Otherwise, you will be outdated. You will be simply can't even understand the meaning of the words what people will speak. What are the meaning? You look at artificial intelligence, the new terms that are coming up, you will not even understand the meaning of the words what you are talking about. This one. So in this context, there is a challenge, and take challenge as a great joy. Challenge itself is a joy, I think. Challenge is an example of your living. You are thriving, you are young, that you can learn new things. This one, that is the thing. Who is a young person? If at this age, if I can learn, then I am young. If you cannot learn, then you are old. Even you may be 21. You may be yes, so that is the word, and I think let's create that environment here. I think I'm very pleased that Gopal Krishna Gokhale is looking at from this. He will be pleased that my children, my grandchildren are coming and learning this in the campus in which I walked once. Mahatma Gandhi will be very pleased that what you're talking about, Satyagraha and what I'm standing on own, developing India of the future. He might not imagine this one, but the charkha is that our IT factories. Really, that's what this one. I welcome you here. It's a great joy for me to look at you. I feel highly inspired, but we right the next 25 years, India will become the #1 nation of the world. #1 nation of the world. Will cross, not competing. I'm not saying that we'll definitely cross the US. That is predicted by US itself. In the decade of 40s, India will go ahead of US economy. We cannot believe that. You imagine that I must be in the US, but US people will like to come to India, and I must be in India. That is and I have to learn. My one dream is that people from Stanford should come one day to learn here, sitting with you. And that's going to happen. And that's how we are. Provided we have great students like you who will teach them how to write software for the world. Thank you very much.